Right, so every week we do our Secret Golf Celebrity Showdown, and this week, well, we teased it, we have an amazing guest for you. And that means one thing, the cheesy music.
It's Celebrity Showdown.
So we are back with week 3 of the Secret Golf Celebrity Showdown, and well, the leaderboard right now is looking slightly dismal for me. I am at the very bottom, and I am just shocked that Jay and Elk are so far above me. I mean, even our celebrity guest category is kicking my butt right now, but it's okay, there's always time for redemption, and this could be the week. Now, I want to introduce our special guest this week because he is the most special, and we're so excited to have him on. Mr. Style himself, the former fashion director at Golf Digest, and easily the best dressed man I've ever met in my whole entire life, Mr. Marty Hackel.
You look great this morning.
Thank you.
I told her brown suits her, doesn't it, Hackel? Brown, green?
Yeah, exactly. You're the only PGA Tour player that's ever been able to pull off brown well.
Some people don't like it, but if you get brown shoes and they're shined up, they look magnificent, as you know.
Yeah. You can tell everything you need to know by looking at a man's shoes.
Before we get into this, as you and I, Marty and I have known one another for 20 years, at the end of my career, or towards the end of my PGA Tour career, he would stay with me almost every week on the tour, and he would do his job, and we would hang out at night and talk about all kinds of things, but we really enjoyed fashion. Marty, what is going to be next? I am so tired of the fashion on the tour, the 5-pocket pant. They're all wearing the same one. We got one guy, Adam Scott, who's maybe wearing some pleats. Is there anything that we can look forward to? Please give us the lowdown.
I am begging for some changes. The only change that I see is I see golf wear evolving into sportswear, and everyone's calling it athleisure. I think they're misusing the term, and I don't really want to see golf clothes at the bar tonight when I go for a beer. So I think there has to be a little bit of separation there, but it's difficult times to come up with these new looks. I mean, I don't really care for that 5-pocket pan on the golf course. It looks more like everyone's going in to clean the garage.
Well, this week, Adidas are launching their new range, and it's going to be more of that athleisure with joggers and collarless shirts. I know that you were telling me that you spoke to them about this. What do you feel about this new look that we're going to see at this Hollywood glam golf course?
Well, I think it's good for Adidas, and we're pronouncing that correctly when we say Adidas, not the Americanized version of Adidas.
And I'm the European, I should know better.
But I think it's good for them for trying to do something different. A little bit risky with joggers, because joggers only belong to tall people that are very thin. So, Elk, you and I are out of this equation.
I actually saw Akshay Bhatia wearing them last week. He had some fancy little shoes on. Did you see them? They had like kind of shiny...
He's got a lot of potential.
Yeah.
Of course, he's about 6'3", and I think soaking wet, he might weigh 120 pounds. Pretty good golfer, though.
Yeah, I know.
I got a 5-wood that's heavier than him.
Yeah, I'm heavier than him. Jay is a lover of sportswear and coaches a baseball team. So, Jay, what do you think about this? What we're seeing on the golf course right now?
Well, I think we can all agree. I mean, as a baseball person, clothes matter. I mean, I'm a gearhead uniform person, and baseball's always had this evolution of fashion. In the 70s, it was powder blue color. That went away. lot of zippers in the 70s, a lot of V-necks, a lot of polyester, kind of match the golf materials, Marty, probably. But as far as the golf goes, we comment every week how monochromatic everything is, and it's just so bland. And then when you see golfers on, let's say, an overcast day, the whole thing looks depressing. I'd like to see some colors come back.
Okay.
Do you think this has to do with the COVID crisis, that everyone sort of has this very gray outlook, and we're reflecting that with the way people are selecting colors?
Maybe we should be doing the opposite, though. We should be wearing the oranges and the fuchsias and making everything a little bit brighter and sunnier.
Well, we have a chance this week because there's no better backdrop than Riviera.
I do have to ask one question, and we've seen it quite a lot over the past couple of weeks. Tyrrell Hatton, I think, was the first one to debut the golf hoodie. It's a very controversial subject, and it gets the golf Twitterati fired up. What do you think about the hoodie on the golf course?
Well, interesting that you bring that up, because last year I was at Riviera. I was at this tournament. The weather was diabolically cold. Justin Thomas, who at the time was wearing polo, wore a polo golf hoodie in cashmere that was washable, and he wore it on the first round. So, I mean, I think he was the first one to register, if you will. He was my Sir Edmund Hillary before Tyrrell Hatton. But Tyrrell Hatton did a fantastic job because he wore it 4 days in a row.
Yeah.
So good for him. It's been a huge success.
If you're winning, you can wear anything.
That's right.
Yes.
And then the final fashion topic, I guess, and I know Mr. Elkington's view on this, is shorts during the practice rounds. Marty, what's your opinion on that?
Here's a good rule of thumb. You never know who you're going to bump into. So you must always bring it, whether it's Monday or Sunday. You need to look your very best all of the time.
I love that. That's advice to live by.
You do anyway, Diane. But, Jason Duffner on the tour said, I'm not wearing shorts because Hogan wouldn't have wore shorts, or Jackie Burke wouldn't have wore shorts. They're indeed following Mr. Hackel's recommendation of always looking sharp. So not everybody's wearing shorts. Most are. And I think I don't really have an opinion on it, honestly. I mean, practice rounds don't mean much to me either way, so I'm not worried about it.
Whoa, wait a second. Nota Begay once told me on a Tuesday at Westchester, when he had a beautiful pair of trousers on, and I said, geez, you're bringing your A game on Tuesday. He's the one that said to me, you never know who's going to be in the stands.
There you go.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, well, hopefully we're going to have some fashion mixed into your Fourball picks this week. So what we do for the Secret Golf Celebrity Showdown is it's a public game on our app, $10 to enter. The top 3 come the end of Sunday will win cash. Now you have to pick 4 guys, 1 from each of the 4 tiers, which are split up based on the official World Golf Rankings. We already know that Daniel Berger has WD'd this week. He was actually in C tier, which would have been I think he was going to be the most popular pick in that tier. Now that spices it up a little bit, Elk.
No doubt. And, a lot of these guys, we saw it happen with Dustin Johnson last week. He won in Dubai, decided to skip Pebble Beach. Now we've got Berger won in Pebble Beach, and he's decided to skip Riviera. As everyone knows, there's a lot of bad weather going across the country. Is he hurt? Probably not. Maybe getting home. Maybe has issues that I don't know where he lives. But Berger's out. The field is so loaded anyway, so we're going to have a lot of fun today.
Okay. Jay, what do you feel about the standard of field this week, especially compared to what we saw last week at Pebble Beach?
Night and day from last week. I think one of us, I won't name who it was, called it a high school field. Maybe that was, I don't know who that was. But this week is the opposite. If that was a high school field, this is a master class in the field, how it lines up. It should be exciting golf.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, Marty, we're going to get right into it. We don't give out our picks, and we leave that until the game kicks off, just to keep everyone in suspense. Once you give your picks, that's them locked in. You cannot change them. So we're going to start with Tier A. Who is the first guy you're picking for your Fourball team?
Well, this is a no-brainer for me because I'm going with Adam Scott, and I'm going to tell you why. Yes, he did win the tournament last year, but that's not the reason why I picked him. I picked him because there's no one who wears clothes better than Adam Scott. And you know what? He wears Uniqlo clothing. He wears FootJoy shoes. And if I gave you $100 and told you to buy Adam Scott's trousers, belt, and shirt, the next thing you would do would bring me change because it's inexpensive and it looks great. Yes. So it's not about how much you spend, it's how you spend it.
Okay. Elk and I talked about Adam Scott. He can do no wrong in my books.
Why don't you tell everybody what Adam Scott is at Riviera?
He's a kikuyu grass expert, mate.
Trying to teach Diane to have an Australian accent, Hackel, is pretty tough. But it's a good pick you have here because Adam Scott, even though he actually is rated or ranked about 85th on the list, he is one of the favorites at Riviera. Why is that? Yes, he looks great. I mean, Adam Scott is a good-looking guy, plays well, dresses the part, but he has the game to back it up at Riviera. He hits it good off the tee. He's a great iron player. He doesn't have to make every putt. He's always struggled in that department. He's won this tournament twice. This is an absolute locked-in pick for you, Hackel. There's a lot of top guys you've passed over, like Dustin Johnson, John Rahm, but I like you stepping out on the limb with the Aussie.
Yeah, well, I was a little worried because I was thinking about, well, who fades the ball well? And I immediately thought of Brooks Koepka. And, he's a pretty strong player, and he doesn't wear any brand. He's not endorsing any clothing company, but he does one thing that's always great. And watch it this week. He will match his belt to his trousers. So you might not even see a belt when you see him on TV. So he's really taken that lesson to heart.
It's important.
I would make sure I didn't match.
Well, you could pull it off, You could.
What do you think, Jay?
Marty, I like the pick. To me, Adam Scott he looks like what a golfer should look like. He's a movie star looks, nice and clean lines. However, we're not judging him on his look. We're trying to judge him on his ability. Yes, he's a defending champion, but boy, did you pass over some names here. And I don't think anybody's going to be looking at Brooks Koepka's belt color when he's possibly raising the trophy up here. But we'll see. We'll see. I like that you went out on a little bit of a limb.
Well, I passed over Keegan Bradley. And Keegan Bradley, in my book, was the first guy that wore those MJ shoes. So he was wearing Jordan golf shoes 10 years ago. He was way ahead of the curve.
Do you like them? Are you a fan of the Jordans on the course?
I'm a fan of them. Harold Varner wears them. I'm not a fan of them on me, though. They kind of look orthopedic when I have them on. I like more classic shoes that look like shoes.
Yeah, I'm the same. I think we can all agree on that, actually. Okay, well, we're moving on to Tier B. That's Tier A locked in, Adam Scott. So the B tier, Marty, who's your man?
Oh, boy, this was really a tough one for me. Brendan Steele was in this group, and he wears link sole, and his wife is a real fashionista. And then I was thinking, well, Russell Knox, who wears Vineyard Vines, had that rig last week where he had his stocking cap over his 6-panel baseball cap. I thought that was a good look. But at the end of the day, I've got to go with Victor Hovland because he wears Jay Lindeberg and always looks great. He also wears Audemars Piguet watches, so that's a perfect combination. So he's a dead cert for me.
The Jay Lindeberg stuff, that's the Swedish brand, and I love what they do because it's always, they have some bright colors. They're always a bit out there with their colors, but it's like nice block patterning and it's nothing too wild, but they kind of make a statement with what they pick.
Yeah, they've got great golf wear and they've got great ski wear too. So now when it's the middle of the ski season, it's a good thing to take a look at some of that Lindeberg ski wear.
Elk, you need that right now.
Okay, back to golf for just a second here. Hovland is a great pick. He is so strong. When he came out of Oklahoma State with Matthew Wolff, he was kind of the left behind guy, but now it seems as though he's been more consistent with his play. Won in Mexico, been playing well. I like Hovland anyway, and this is a great pick. He fades the ball, he's strong. The only weak part of Hovland's game, which has always been in question, is he's chipping. He says, I've got kind of chip problems, but I'm going to work on it. But he's still able to win tournaments, and I like everything about Hovland. He also wears Lindeberg, as you said. That's a line I can't wear either, Hackel. It doesn't look good if you're a little bit pudgy, you know, so that's out for me. But I do appreciate when Jesper Parnevik came on the scene with Lindeberg, he really put him on the map. That guy looked so good when he went to the golf.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, Elk, if you wore Jay Lindeberg, you look like one of those, you know, athletic teachers at high school. So with a whistle.
Oh, wow.
I love this pick. Ninth in ball striking, Victor Hovland, that's insane. I mean, the guy's, plus he's coming in playing well. We had him ranked 7th in form, Marty, 20th in par 4 scoring average, and he doesn't give a lot of shots back either. His bogey avoidance is great. And I'm a Jay Lindeberg. I can't wear that either as I'm getting up there. I've got too much softness going on. And I just remember Jesper, we all recognized his hat, but it was really those narrow lines that he always had, right? Those bright colors and just that frame he walked around in those clothes in.
Yeah, how great. And by the way, speaking of driving, you know, Victor Hovland drives a Lexus, and he was driving to all of the tournaments this past year. He wasn't jumping on airplanes. He was driving from one tournament to the next, kind of like a throwback to the 50s.
I like it.
I like it too. It's a great pick. I have him penciled in as some of my prospects, but now that you've picked him, Hackel, I'm moving away. I don't want to be like you on this pick.
Okay, we're on to Tier C. As we said, Daniel Berger was originally in Tier C. He would have been the easy, obvious pick for so many, but he's out now, so we have to dive deeper. Marty, who have you got for the C tier?
You know, I was up all night over this one. First, I thought Kevin Streelman. You know, Streelman wears Johnny O. And he played pretty well last week. Then I thought, you know, maybe Doc Redman. Maybe this is Doc Redman's week. And he wears Polo Golf and he wears RLX, and he's a great kid. In fact, it wasn't that long ago that he was caddying for me down in North Carolina. So I had sort of a sentimental thought about that. But at the end of the day, I got to go with Carlos Ortiz. I got to go with him for 2 reasons. First of all, he wears Grayson. And Grayson put the joggers back into golf. So Grayson's a really cool line. And he also wears Beltology, those knit belts. So he always looks great. And he's been having a very good season. So I'm very confident in that pick.
Okay.
The when you and I were at the golf show, Hackel, we went in and saw Grayson. We went into the teepee that they had set up at the golf show. We sat and visited with the owners of Grayson. I enjoyed that very much. Carlos Ortiz is becoming a reputation of playing very difficult golf courses well. He won the Houston Open, Hackel, right here at the new course in Houston down at Memorial Park. And the guys had a lot of trouble with that course, very difficult. He was able to emerge with a victory there, and this is going to set up well for him. I don't know how much experience Ortiz has. He's only been on tour a couple of times. You do need to know your way around Riviera. You can get pushed around into corners where you can't score at certain parts of this golf course. That's why the guys that play well, like Adam Scott, do so well over and over. Bubba Watson, these guys, But Ortiz has a habit of playing hard golf courses. This is a very solid pick. Well done, Hack.
Well, thank you.
I love this pick. Way to go, Marty Hackel. This seems like a perfect C-level pick. He's really playing well, first of all, coming in 10th in form, just coming off a 4th place finish. And the thing I like about this guy is he's got just hovering around 3 to 4 top 20 stats across the board. His one area of weakness is scrambling, but he's a really good ball striker. He's going to score. I think you've zeroed in on a great pick here in Tier C.
Okay.
Thanks.
And he's from Mexico, which Poana grass they have down there. He would be very comfortable in this kind of turf. Kikuyu, mate, as Diane's having trouble saying today, is a grass from Australia, also grows in Mexico. You've got to be able to. People say, well, why is it so difficult to play out of Kikuyu? Because it has this bit of a sponge. Hackel, you'll know that amateurs love it. The ball sits up like this, but when you're a tour, you can't dig down after it out of there. Otherwise, you'll hit it too high on the face. And that's why Adam Scott's a real sweeper of the ball. I did well at Riviera, of course. I'm a sweeper, so it worked out really well for me. Ortiz knows this turf.
Yeah, this is why I have trouble at Spyglass, because of that Kikuyu there. But, Abraham Answer might be another good dart.
I don't know if he's available in D, is he?
No, he's in the A group.
He's
so
A.
he was my backup.
So normally when we get to Tier C and D, you're looking for guys that are going to make the cut, because if they don't make the cut, they're marked down for an 80 over the weekend, both days, and that's been my problem over the past few weeks. But the field is really stacked. 8 of the top 10 in the world this week. So as you say, Tier C, you're getting someone like Ortiz, and that's such a great name to pick. But Tier D is always the interesting one. We have the most fun with this tier. So Marty, who's your final 4-ball pick?
Well, this is a tough one. I'm really on the edge here. My first thought was Brian Gay, and Brian Gay wears a brand called G4 that's now part of the Peter Millar group. And Brian Gay always looks fantastic. And he's got a very, very good iron game. He doesn't hit the ball as far as many, but, he's a pretty accurate player. And then I thought, well, Peter Milnati wears that floppy hat that I always think is great. And he's had a pretty good year, so maybe Milnati, but at the end of the day, this is going to be a good one, Cameron Tringale. And he's been playing well. He also wears Grayson, always looks good. He's a really approachable gentleman. He's just a great guy. So it's kind of a sentimental pick in a way, but I'm going with Tringale.
Okay.
It's a good pick. He was almost in the playoff at the RSM a couple of months ago. I saw him near the last groups a couple of weeks ago at the Scottsdale tournament, and I saw him on TV last week at Pebble Beach. Didn't quite push his way up the board. Maybe you're onto something here, but I did notice when you talk about Grayson, he was wearing that snake shirt with all the snakes on it. And Hackel, I got to be honest, if I had that shirt on, mate, I would shoot a 92 if I had a shirt that had snakes on it. Are you kidding me?
You know, he can pull that stuff off. He's a handsome, tall, good-looking guy. So, you know, he can make it work.
So you bookended your teams with two good-looking men, Adam Scott and Cameron Tringali. Diane, give us some help here.
Well, I mean, I was going to say Tringali, if he wears Grayson, he's nice and tall. He can get away with those joggers. He would be like the prime candidate to wear the joggers, Marty.
Yeah, absolutely.
Jay, help me here, please.
Well, I'll tell you what he wears well. It's been his finishes and his play. That's what he's wearing well. I mean, every weekend this guy is suddenly in contention. So I don't think any of us are going to be surprised, even with a loaded field like this guy's going to keep playing at a level that we might start seeing his name instead of top 10s into the top 5. He's coming off a top 7. He finished 7th last week. His numbers are great across the board. He's another guy that's just top 20 in everything. He looks good. He plays good.
I want to say something about shoes, Hackel, and you know me, I've always worn leather shoes, very firm shoes, and the big problem I have about, joggers or the softer shoes nowadays is I can't use my feet. I want that really firm edge. It's called the welt, W-E-T, of shoe, and I want to be able to roll that shoe and use it in my swing action. And I've got to have shoes with a super firm structure.
Well, you're going against the trend there, Elk, about the only player left who believes in a very firm sort of sole on his shoe. And I think there's a search party out for him now, actually. Ricky Fowler. He is missing in action, but he's about the last tour player that really likes a firm sole on his golf footwear. I mean, Adam Scott, who was very involved in the new FootJoy shoes that are coming out right now, you know, he likes a more comfortable shoe. He does require performance out of it, but he's not that hard sole sort of a guy. So, Elk, you and I are probably the last two holdouts for real shoes.
Yes, I think that's okay as well. I've always been a little bit that way. Of course, Nick Fowler might argue that those 4s or
Oh my God. Oh, hold on. There's something about that. And he's claiming that you can hit the ball further because the shoes have a square toe? Does that mean if the shoes had a round toe, I'd make more putts?
Diane, isn't it a Euro thing that they wear the square toe? Or what is it?
Do you know what? Having said that, I actually bought a pair of shoes for me not long ago, but they're heels, open-toed, and they're square at the front. I will not be hitting golf balls in them, though, I assure you that. Marty, I have one fashion question because Elk has made fun of me about this a lot in the past. What is your opinion on golfers wearing white pants?
Great if they're driving an ambulance or if they're selling ice cream. But I'm a firm believer that white pants are terrific from May 30th until Labor Day, the first week of September. After that, unless you're in the hospital, don't put those white pants on.
I had a feeling that was coming. Right, so just to confirm, your team this week is Adam Scott, Victor Hovland, Carlos Ortiz, and Cameron Tringali. So we're locking that in. That is your team. It's an impressive Fourball, and you've got me quaking in my square-toed heels a little bit.
Geez, you know, I can't wait for the end of this program because I've been up all night working on this. I got to get some rest.
I think your picks have been noted, and I will be trying to trump those at each division in my game. And we will, if people do want to play against all 4 of us, they can go to the SG Tour app, find the celebrity game, and join it with us.
I think this guy this week is going to turn around the celebrity fortune because
Well, he has meat that goes with it. He's got a lot of passion that goes with his picks.
and I like his style. He dangle a few names out there to get you thinking, and then he pull the rug out and reveal his pick. Marty, well done. I look for you to be a worthy competitor this week.
Hey, thanks, Jay. I'm banking on it.
Hey, Marty, before you go, I just want to ask you, for anyone watching this, you know, whether it be a professional golfer or a recreational golfer, what would be your top piece of fashion advice for right now and the current trends?
If you have to stand in front of the mirror for longer than 10 seconds, go change.
We should put that on a t-shirt.
That's good advice.
I know, it's perfect advice. Marty Hackel,
Great advice.
it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thank you so much. I mean, I've learned a lot, not only about the picks, but about fashion, and we really do appreciate your insights.
Well, thanks a lot. Thanks, Diane, Jay, Elk, all the best, and all the best to everyone out there. I think my 4 picks look pretty strong right about now.